Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest Podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. We might sound a little different in this intro because we are actually in the theater at, 9 o'clock at night? Late night here.
9:03.
We are here to see the Amazing Digital Circus, the last act. And before we go into the theater, we're going to give you some of our last minute predictions on what we think is going to happen. So mine is that I don't think anyone's going to make it out of the circus. I think they're all going to be stuck in there and they're just going to stay there. So Jackson, what do you got?
Okay, I think, based on what I know, what I've seen, I think everyone but Jax is getting out and Kinger's gonna die. Jax is gonna stay because he can't face reality without the circus. And there's gonna be a flashback with Ribbit that tells us everything we need to know, and it's gonna justify him staying.
Baller. And Logan, what do you got?
All right, I got, since we saw Gangle with her comedy mask in episode 4, and we saw that shot in the trailer, so I think we're going to flash back to episode 4, and we're going to see what Jack saw on his training video. Because I went back and watched that, and they never showed us that, and I'm really intrigued. So,
All right, so we're about to head into the theater. Stay tuned, because next up is our full episode reviewing and knowing what we got wrong and what we got right. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Nerdiest Podcast, the show where nerds talk about nerdy things. I'm your host with the most, who is always sleep-deprived, Mr. Nick Barrett. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my ride or die, Mr. Jackson Glass. First in-person episode in over a year. I don't remember what the last one was. I'll look it up.
We're
But
in the stew.
That's
we
crazy.
are also joined by a guest of the show, frequent guest, Logan. Welcome back.
Thank
Here
you.
to talk about
Thank
Digital
you.
Circus again. So, as you guys saw in that intro, we did our little predictions in the theater. And
Yes.
we saw the Amazing Digital Circus, the last act, last night.
So we don't have any weekend numbers yet,
Yes.
unfortunately, because we're recording this on a Saturday. We saw it Friday night.
Mhm.
We had tickets to a 9:30 showing. As you saw in the video, it was about 9:03.
Mhm.
And at about 9:15 p.m., we were like, hey, the marquee doesn't say Digital Circus. What's that about?
What's up with that?
And we asked the guy at the counter, and he was like, oh, that's weird. We had a 7:30 showing, and it was full and whatever. And we're like, oh, okay. And he went through the computer, and he was like, yeah, it was canceled. And we were like,
Okay.
what do you mean it was canceled? And he was like, I could get you tickets to like 1:30 tomorrow. And I said, sir,
No.
no.
That's not going to work.
I'm going to get spoiled. And I was like,
They'll get totally spoiled.
and I was like, and I said, sir, do you know the nerdiest but not in? So basically he gave us some free tickets. He was nice. But I was also like, no email, no notification.
Yeah, I got nothing on
Yeah.
my end. Like, because I had ordered all the tickets and I got no email, no text, it didn't even cancel on the app. It
Right.
was still like open on the app. And even the guy like scanned it
Yep.
and told us what theater to go
He was like,
to.
yeah, it's in theater 12.
So
And we were like, no, it freaking was not.
I pulled up the local theater on the other side of town,
30 minutes away.
30 minutes away at 9:15, and they had a 10 o'clock showing. So we booked it across town on the interstate, got there at what, like
Yes.
9:55?
It was like 9:55.
Mhm.
Got our tickets, sat down, and we were like, oh my gosh.
It was
we
a
made
high.
it.
Mhm.
It was a high.
It was fun.
I will also say, like, we were trying to leave because we were like, okay, we gotta go. Like,
Mhm.
and I was like, I almost get into like this flow state in experiences like this, like my Disney blood comes out,
Oh, yeah.
where he was like, well, I could get you new tickets, whatever. And I was standing next to Nick, and I said, asking for a refund. He's like, can I get a refund? He's like, let's go to the 10 o'clock. We're going to go to the 10 o'clock. And then he was like, thank you. And we bolted out, and we got stuck behind these slow walkers. And it was like,
I gotta go.
These two kids, like they were kids. And I was like, excuse me.
Excuse me, coming through.
I almost got hit by a car. Like,
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was funny.
no, you said you were like, no, you lock in, let's go. And I did.
He locked into oncoming traffic.
So they got locked into an ambulance.
yes. So, the theater experience was great. We had a lot of fun. But it was like,
holy cow, like we're just trying to see this freaking
We're just
movie.
trying to make it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what happened right after we finished recording. And I love, my favorite part about this is that Nick bought an icy.
I did. I went
At
to
the
the Regal.
Regal.
I used my points to get an icy. She's like, it's whatever. We're gonna chill. And then I couldn't even bring it into the theater we went to, so I had to leave it in the car. And by the time we came out, it was like slush
So
at
funny.
12:30 a.m.
No, literally.
And I'm sitting there, like, as I'm driving home, I was like, whew, that still hits, bro. That sugar at 12:30 got me home. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was an experience. It was basically think about Baby Driver, but
Well,
but it was me on the interstate.
yeah, that's real. So
anyway,
I
yeah.
checked the last in-person episode we did. You're not gonna believe this. Was our 2024 year in review
Holy
Whoa.
cow!
when you came and we saw the Daft Punk
the Daft Punk movie for my
at that
birthday.
theater
At that theater, yes.
for your birthday,
my
and
gosh.
we ate at that Chili's.
We did eat at that Chili's. It's a tradition, guys.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's what's hilarious. Like, I told my wife, she was like, "Where are you guys going for dinner?" And I was like, "Oh, Chili's." And she was like, "But there's so many like good local restaurants around." And I was like, "Yeah, but Chili's
Yeah, but
hits."
Chili's, it's in the mall. We went to the Lego store.
Right,
all
we
got
did
a
go to the Lego
set.
store.
It's
All got
true.
Lego sets. We made a whole night out of it.
Yeah,
so
it was great.
fun, but it was so funny because leading up to this, we had to like meticulously plan what showtime we're gonna go to, who gets off work when we're gonna drive, calculating traffic, and we like basically timed it out perfectly
Mm-hmm.
for them to cancel our showing and not tell us.
Yeah.
So you know what, guys, you don't have control. You got to roll with the punches. That's how it goes.
So
Yeah.
true.
But yes, we are here to talk about the Amazing Digital Circus finale. Full spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, full spoilers. If you're
Um,
watching this before it drops on YouTube and you're waiting for YouTube, that's great. This episode will be here when you get back after you watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear anybody in the comments say, well, you didn't give me a spoiler warning. You didn't tell me there were going to be spoilers. I'm telling you right now that we are going into full spoilers about
Yes.
the entirety of the Amazing Digital Circus episodes
Yes.
1 through 9.
Mhm.
So if you go past this point, you are liable for spoilers, and
Yes.
that's on you.
Yes.
Speaking of, Jax freaking dies.
He does freaking
and that's
die.
not a joke.
Yeah.
That actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can I say, did you guys notice? I'm hyper aware of people in movie theaters. Like, just because I have anxiety. But basically, like,
I call it spider sense.
yeah, that's true. So basically, there was a guy that got up like halfway through and was gone for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I thought he abstracted.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, one, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
did you have to poop? Like, what would, like,
Yeah, maybe
You know.
he had Taco Bell
yeah,
before
right
instead
before.
of Chili's.
And then he came back like 10 minutes later, and I was like, there's no way this man was like, so what did I miss?
Like you
like,
missed a lot,
like,
bro.
I could not tell you.
Yeah.
It was way too much. So,
Yeah.
yeah, basically, I don't know if we just want to go from front to back.
Well,
There's,
we can start. I will say, just based on our predictions from before we went in the theater,
yep.
I'm the
Yeah.
only one who was 100% correct.
Yeah.
That is true.
Not to be that guy, not to be,
Yeah.
not to be that guy. But
Oh,
and then there was an
yeah.
element of yours where
I was partially correct.
You were partially correct, and then sorry, Logan, you didn't get.
Yeah, I got
And
nothing.
you got nothing.
But I thought your prediction was so good.
I did too.
I really wish that was what we actually saw in the finale.
I honestly thought that that's how they were gonna do the flashback with Ribbit. Is I thought
Yeah.
that Gangle was gonna like show him his past.
yes.
I thought that's how we were gonna see it. It makes more sense for Pomni to see it,
Yeah.
but like I don't know. I was kind of hoping for like a weird way to see it, something that I wouldn't
Right.
expect, because the way it happened is exactly how I expected it to
Yeah.
happen. You know?
yeah.
yeah, I think for me, I'll just do my general thoughts on the ending
Mm-hmm.
because I know it's kind of like controversial,
controversial.
online.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'll be real, we left the theater and I don't really know how to feel about it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's like I don't think it's as bad as everyone is saying it is online. Like I think if you look at, and this is what I've tried to do with like the endings I've gone through, especially with like My Hero, is you have to look at the ending for what it is for the show and not the expectations that you put on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were so many different expectations put on this ending of like, well, you know, this theory and this theory. And we talked about that on our last episode was there's so like you're almost over theorizing and you're losing the forest for the trees. And I think that's what happened with this ending. But for me specifically, I think it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think for what the show was trying to set up, and especially if you go back and watch now, I think because Gooseworks had talked about that of like if you rewatch the whole show with the context of the ending, it makes a little more sense and you start to see how all of this ties together.
Right.
I think in that sense, it's good, but I also think there are some directions it went that I don't think were necessary at all, or almost felt like subversions of things that had been set up earlier for the sake of subversion rather than this is the narrative through line of what we're doing. Like they put such a big emphasis on like not leaving Jax alone so that he didn't abstract because they wanted to have this community and be together only for him to then be left alone and then go abstract. Like which was done completely off screen, which I guess they like you didn't have to repeat that because we kind of saw that in episode 7 of him going through that process. So it would have felt repetitive to do that again. But even then, I feel like, and I know they brought it around with like, well, even though he's abstracted, like we're still going to take care of him and make sure he's okay. But I feel like all of that should have been done on the front end. And he should not have abstracted at all. So overall, like I'll get into that more as we go. But overall, I don't think it was a bad ending, but I don't think it was like great. Like I put it somewhere in the middle, like maybe 5 or 6 out of 10. Like,
Okay.
So somewhere like halfway, still somewhat of a passing grade. So that's my general thoughts. I don't know which one of you wants to pick it up.
Logan, let me hear.
Yeah.
I think I have somewhat of a controversial take. So I'd like you to go first.
Yeah, for sure. So I've given it quite a bit of thought because right after we left the theater, like I was telling y'all, like I was not a fan. I did not like it. I think the more that I've thought about it and after I slept on it, I think I like it a little bit more than I did the other night because at the end of the day, I think like what you were saying is that you have to approach from what the show is trying to say and like you have to go back and think it's like what has been the through line every single episode. And I think at the end of the day, this show is about community. And it's like, I think it's relevant to the world we live in, how it's like stressful and nothing makes sense and it's scary. And it's trying to say that the best way that you can get through it is through community. And so they're showing like, you know, you can forgive, you can like learn to accept others and you can make the choice. You just have to admit when you did wrong, which is what they did for Kane, which I really liked. I still think it's rushed. I think the whole show in general is just rushed. If that's my biggest critique, that would have to be it. Is just they went way too fast in things. I'm blown away that they thought they could do it in 8 episodes.
I was gonna say, do you think they needed another episode or should the finale have been longer?
I think they needed another season.
That's spicy.
Oh,
and like I kind of don't disagree with you because I feel like what makes the show so interesting is the adventures that they go on. And I think we kind of moved on from that
A little too quick.
Like we kind of let that go because the first episode was like, yeah, that's an in-house. That's the pilot. We're setting everything up. And then episode 2, 3, and 4 all had their own adventure. And then 5 was kind of like, whoa, this is like rapid fire. And then 6 was another in-house. And then, 7, 8, and 9 is like something completely different, like going off the rails. So I do wish there was more adventures, especially like not, guys, I'm a big Kane fan, like a little biased, but I mean, I don't know. Some of the ones he was describing in episode 5 where he was like a mutant nervous system attacks the US government or whatever. Like some of that stuff, I was like, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of wish we did.
Even if you do like a spin-off, like, I don't know, comic series or something, like there's ways to spin it off and do that. But I don't disagree. I think it could have been longer.
Yeah, I think that, see, this goes into a larger discussion about like TV shows and what filler means exactly. But a lot of people will look at an episode like this is so off topic, but I remember like when Invincible was coming out, there was like there were a few episodes that came out, and immediately the reaction would be if it didn't have like an enormous space battle, it was just automatically labeled as filler when it came out, and it was like, okay, well, let's think about it a little more constructively than that. And I think with this show, since it was so character focused, I think what they should have done is they should have built up, since the ending was known, like they weren't making it up as they went along, you know, drop little hints here and there, do adventures that coincide with their arc, do some subtle foreshadowing. You know, I think it would have made it hit really hard for me in the end, because like the ending was good. I'm not saying it was bad, but I think it could have been so much better. There was a lot of missed potential, and I think that's what really like bummed me out the most. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I don't hate it, but they needed more time. Yeah, that's my consensus.
Interesting. This is so hard because I love this show so much, and I jumped on the bandwagon so late. Like we initially only. When did I start this show?
Episode 6.
Episode 6. Like
it was
I was
right after,
so late.
It was right after episode 6 came out, because I saw the clips from episode 6 and then I binged it with Maddie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, we need to talk about this. Like, why not? And now it's one of our like most viewed episodes
of course.
of all time.
And some of our favorite like things to talk about, like all this stuff. So like I was really, really excited going into this, and the theater experience was just otherworldly. Like it was so much fun to be like, oh, this is a thing. And I was telling you in the car on the way home, like just the experience of like, it gave us a reason to come together. Yeah. Like it was a month ago, we said, this is the weekend, Digital Circus is in the theater. We're taking off work. We're not taking off work. We got off early on regular time. But I was like, we're leaving work so that we can go straight to Nick's house so that we can see it in this theater, so that we can go to Chili's and go to the Lego store, and we're going to record a podcast all weekend. We're going to do this. Like, and it was the adventure of like our showtime's canceled, and now we're like rushing across town, and we made it just in time. It's like a Home Alone movie. Like it was so much like that adventure, and then sitting in the theater and getting that like glitch logo on the screen.
Oh, that was so hype.
In a era where the last like few movies I've seen an Amazon logo in the movie theater, or a Netflix logo in the movie theater,
or a Disney logo,
or a Disney, like, you know, seeing that, I was alive. I felt so much hope, because I was like, I felt like I was a part of something. Yeah. I was like, we did this. Like, this is the most successful independent project like ever. Yeah. Like, as a creator, that excites me. And that is so cool that so many, like, they had to like double the show times for this because it was such a high demand. Like,
well, I guess not for ours.
Well, yeah, for real. Apparently. Yeah, Regal. But just like being a part of that was so special. And so I'm trying not to let like that experience and the social context like affect my opinion of the finale. But I think it's hard, because I think that like at the end of the day, the show is super important. Yeah. And I like, if this came out on like a Blu-ray or a Criterion or something, like I'd be snatching it up.
Well, I thought about that too. Like, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility for Glitch to do some kind of like physical steelbook, even like a limited run on their site, because it's such a short series. I mean, it's the same length as Loki. Right. And Loki got a steelbook release. So if they wanted to do like, you know, a year from now, or maybe even like 2 or 3 months from now, really, like as a final, like, you know, own your Digital Circus, like here's the steelbook, like I would buy it. Right.
Which it feels silly to buy a physical version of something that's free on YouTube. But like,
they would have to add like some behind the scenes or something.
Yeah, there could be some really, like, I would watch a director's commentary.
Yeah,
of
that would be
every
awesome.
episode of this show. So that being said, like, I was on this high in the movie theater, and even just seeing like episode 7? It was 8. Sorry. Even just seeing episode 8 again on that big screen was just like, this is crazy. Like, what a time to be alive. And then episode 9, like, honestly, like, I was so into it. because it would like something would happen. I genuinely like was not expecting to connect with it so hard. But I mean, like, I cried. I really did cry in the theater, I think twice, especially at the end. Like, I was just like, we did that. Like, they did it. Like, this is the end. Like, it was the end of an era. That being said, like, I think some of the Jack stuff was super heavy handed for no reason.
A little bit.
And I think that the best way I can describe how I feel about it was, I think in the context of the show, like, I'll probably go back and watch the whole thing in like a year, 2 years, and I'm going to watch the whole thing and I'm going to be like, that was really good. Like, I don't think the finale tarnishes the reputation of the show.
No.
And I think that I could watch it all the way through again and love it even more, knowing what happens. That being said, I think that what they prioritized in the finale was a really odd decision. I think that, and this was clearly like planned from the beginning, and maybe this is just because like I'm a different kind of fan than like what the core audience of the show is, so I don't know. Like, I am much more invested in the world and the lore than the characters. And so to do this super like uber character focused finale that didn't even give every character like a conclusion, it's like just this one character, is just really weird because we don't really explain what's really going on in depth. Like, we get the, oh, it's a brain scan, and then we move on so we can do more Jack's trauma dumping. And so what I was disappointed about was I would have loved to see more of like, what is CNA doing now? Like, are they still a thing? What were they actually trying to accomplish in the first place? Like, who were these people? What time period was this? Like, what, like, I would have loved to see more live action stuff. Honestly, the live action stuff they showed was awesome. I wouldn't have minded that. Like, we could have done that. And I think that would have rounded out the world a lot better. And it would have given a conclusion to every character in a way that was more satisfying. But I will also say, just on the ending in general, I'm glad they stayed. I'm glad they stayed in the circus. And I think that it was a satisfying ending because they had their cake and eat it too. So they knew that they achieved their dreams. They knew that like they were out there doing good things. And that relieved the pressure off of them to be like, oh, I need to be this thing. I need to be this thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, that's not you anymore.
Like, you can just live.
You can just live. And Kane like accepting that and being like, oh, we can just live. Like, everyone just like let their shoulders down. And it basically like, because the circus was a simultaneous heaven and hell. That's why it was so interesting. It turned into this utopia. Like, it did. And they can, you know, now they can do whatever they want and be their own thing. I just think that the lore implications, I'm like, well, someday are they going to get unplugged? Like, is that...
Yeah, that's another question I thought about, was like, we never got answers as to how they got in there. But as I had said on a previous episode, I don't think it matters how they got in there if they weren't getting out. But also, like, you're telling me all, what, 6 or 7 of these people got...
leave it in 25.
Got, like... They all put this headset on, got their brain scanned in, and then
moved on.
Like, just went on about their day. Like,
yeah, I wish we would have seen that in live action.
Because I feel like you have all these different threads of like, well, Pomni got there because she was exploring abandoned buildings, and Ragatha seemed to be there because she was there with a group of friends, and we know Jax ran away from home. So like, there's all these different like how they got there, but we don't even know how all of them got there because we don't know how Gangle got there. We don't know how Zubul got there. Are they the only two that are not explicitly said?
Right.
Because Kinger was there from the beginning.
Right. And my thing is also like, yeah, Jax ran away from home and he ran away home to find a VR headset. Like,
right. Like, he ran into this abandoned building and found a VR headset and thought, yeah, let me put that on.
Like, I don't see the logic in that. Like, how did that?
I mean, clearly he's not an intellectual. I
Right.
wouldn't expect too much from him.
Yeah, he was just an emo boy. He's so sad.
Yeah.
Emo guy. Oh, he was a skater boy. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, and this is my optimistic brain. Now, I'm gonna say this and then rip this finale apart for the next hour, so I apologize. But at the end of the day, I was pretty satisfied with how it ended.
Would you say at the end of the day, this truly was an amazing digital circus?
I think it was a pretty amazing digital circus, personally. Absolute
Amen.
cinema. I think that I can and will nitpick the finale a good bit just because it was lost potential.
It was.
Truly was. It could have been a 10 out of 10, and it's more like a 6 out of 10. But I'm not gonna... Basically, don't be that person online that's like, this finale is a 2 out of 10. The show sucks. What have they done? This is the worst. It was never good. Like, I expect this big wave of people that were like, yeah, it's cringe. It was never good. It's always... When it's like, well, hold on. Like, it's always been great. Just the landing wasn't like stuck perfectly.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
But
had a
there's-
couple wheels out and we kind of dragged a little bit on the runway, but we still
Right.
landed the plane.
But I'm
Yeah.
giving the end, like that finale episode, maybe like a 6 out of 10. Like
Yeah.
5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
Depending on how I feel.
Depending
the
on,
day.
yeah. Because I'm like, I don't think you can remove the social aspect and like still talk about it.
Yeah.
Because this is not like a Disney Plus show.
No.
Or it's not like a cable show. It's like, this was a very unique experience to watch this come out slowly on YouTube and have it free and accessible and then go to the theater. Like, this is an experience we've never had before.
Yeah.
So I can't talk about it like it's just a regular show.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. There's never going to be another show like this ever again. And I'm really grateful to be a part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those like, what dare I say, once in a lifetime type. Like,
I kind of agree.
it's like that's such high praise to give it. But even if you think about the motion this has made for indie animation in general, and even just
Yep.
animation,
Yeah.
right? Like the fact that Digital Circus not only pulled in incredible numbers on YouTube, it opened the door for Glitch to get deals with Amazon and
Yep.
Netflix and put it in front of a wider audience, which I maybe we won't spend a ton of time talking about it, but all of the controversy with Glitch over like them doing theatrical releases and even like having merch ready for the Gameoverse pilot. They're like, well, they're not indie anymore because they had all this stuff ready. And it's like, these are the people who are like, oh, I support indie animation until it's like,
Until you
all
have
right,
to support.
you have to pay. Like,
Yeah.
like these things just don't come
Right.
for free.
Right.
So I think there's something to say for like the barrier of entry being free on YouTube. I think is
Mhm.
great, but I also think in order for things to thrive, like Digital Circus was not living off of ad revenue on YouTube alone.
No.
like
Mm-mm.
Never
there's
was.
no way. So they have to sell merch, and Glitch has very openly talked about like using their merch sales to fund the shows that you're
Right.
buying the merch from. So when you buy a Digital Circus shirt or one of their figures or whatever, you're directly supporting that show and paying
Right.
for that so that they can do these things. And I think it opens up this avenue of like, this is how we create the alternative content that people want. If you
Right.
don't want everything to be owned by Disney or Warner Brothers or Amazon, you have to support stuff like Glitch because they're
Mhm.
doing the work. They're putting in the work to find creators like Gooseworks and Rubber Ross for Gameoverse. Like,
Mhm.
they're finding these people and bringing their shows to life that had, you know, been pitched and tossed around at other places who said no. So I
Mhm.
think even just looking at it from that perspective of like, this is a little indie show
Yeah.
that started on YouTube and was completely pretty much fan funded all of the way and ended in dozens, if not hundreds, of sold out theater showings.
Around the world.
That has never been done before.
Yeah.
Like, you would struggle to get other indie series to that level where they could sell out a theater.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing that I think would be somewhat comparable is K-pop Demon Hunters selling out sing-alongs, but even then that was Sony and Netflix. So they kind of
Right.
have that kind of pull. So it's even more of a feat for Glitch to get those theater, and they talked about how hard it was to get
Yes,
those deals
dude.
because the theaters didn't want to run a 2-week turnaround before it goes free on YouTube. Because once it's free on YouTube, like no one's going to the theater anymore.
Right.
Mhm.
Like
They clearly don't want to play it at 9:30 at the Regal. That's for damn sure.
so, it's like say what you want about Glitch, say what you want about the quality of the ending or whatnot, but I think it would be incredibly disingenuous to deny the things that this has done in opening the door for future things. Maybe future things will never reach this level. Maybe they'll never
Yeah.
become this successful, but it opens the door to, hey, your little indie show, yeah, that could sell out
Yeah.
a theater. If you really build your fan base and really get them passionate and hyped about it, you can do a finale in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about that on our, I think it was the K-pop episode where we talked about like, how do we save movie theaters? How do we bring movie theaters back? Like, how are we, in the big 26 when
Right.
my options
Year
are
of our Lord.
Animal Farm, Hoppers, and The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like,
Right.
what am I gonna go see? Like, how do theaters survive? It's by doing stuff like this. Like,
Yep.
by show the little indie project. You have nothing to lose, really.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna take one showtime away on a Friday night from The Mandalorian? Like,
Oh no.
oh no, anyone who's gonna come see that was gonna go see it. Like, they'll go see it Saturday
Right.
or the next, or they'll come earlier. Like, you're not
Right.
losing that much by taking a chance on this,
Mhm.
and you'll get people in the theater, and then they'll buy your popcorn in the popcorn buckets and like
They'll
all this
buy your
stuff.
ices.
So, yeah, they'll buy your ices with my
And take it to the next
10,000
theater.
Regal points.
And then take it to another theater.
So that's just something I wanted to keep in mind as we're talking about the ending, because I do think
Mhm.
that's worth noting, because it isn't. It's not an insignificant thing to mention.
Yeah.
It's like the motion that this had.
Yeah.
So that said, let's tear apart this ending.
Let's
'Cause
rip
it's
it up.
It's a boat, and we're gonna poke some holes in it.
Here's my question. Here's my initial question.
Yeah.
Do you think that what they did on this finale was a bad decision, or do you think that it was like a creative choice that they just were like, this is we've decided this is the direction we're gonna go, and whether you like it or not, it's what we feel is right?
I'll let you go first.
That's a really tough one. This is a cop-out answer, but I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think that because if you look at the show in the context of like, this is we have this ending, we know where it's gonna go, then that's fine. I was fine with the ending. I had no issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
But my main thing that I said before, it was like you just needed more time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I might need a second to process my
That's
thoughts,
okay.
because like it's just frustrating.
Yeah. I
yeah.
think that, so my take is that I think you can justify the decision of making it character focused. You can justify the decision of making it about Jax. You could justify that creative decision honestly pretty easily. You
Mhm.
really could. He's always been our mystery character. We've
Mhm.
always known that he had something going on that we didn't really know. He
Mhm.
was very mysterious. He didn't have a lot of information. And so we all kind of expected a lore dump on Jax in the final episode.
For sure.
Which isn't the direction I wanted the show to go, but I'm not going to pretend that was bad. That's not the direction I personally, from my enjoyment, would have wanted. I think that you can justify that creative decision. I think the execution of how they did it was poor. I think it was objectively poor,
Mhm.
because I think that what Digital Circus is so good at that they abandoned immediately is consequence. Where it's basically like everything leading up to this episode has had a clear, like, this happens, thus this happens. This happens, but this happened. Like, it's very good, very strong in its writing, in the consequences that it gives in its characters. It's constantly developing and building on itself. Then we get to this new episode where we've been on a cliffhanger for a month, where
Mhm.
it's like, oh, Kane's dead. he's gone. What did they do? In a beautiful sequence, by the way, where they use like silence so well to like pull this unique eeriness out of it. But I feel like by the end they were like, he's in the void, but I mean, he could just come back if he wants. And it was like, hey man, so that was what led Jax to abstraction, because he thought that was the end. He thought that Kane was the only person that could help them.
Yep.
And now that he's gone, he basically killed himself. And we're just going to gloss over the fact that, oops, Kane's back.
Okay, but this is my other thing too. Is abstraction killing yourself?
It doesn't seem to be anymore, because Tommy got to just go in there.
And he was still there.
He was still there.
It seems like it's more akin to being in a coma.
Yes.
It seems like, I don't know if the implication was that that they can come back, or that they're just like a different version of themselves. I don't know. Because like also it kind of rubbed me the wrong way that Jax was just like in a fort now. Like he's just sitting there, and I'm like,
hey, pull the plug.
No, literally. I'm like, bro doesn't need life support.
Hey, that's a mercy kill. I don't know if you could say that. I'm sorry.
No, I think he kind of deserves it. I'm gonna be real. I think he'd find that funny. But like, yeah, it was. There are so many questions that I have with abstraction now, and I feel like this is another issue that I have with the show just in general, is that a lot of really important moments you had to go to Gooseworks on Tumblr, and then she would answer them separately, and I'm like, well, that's annoying.
Like, well, why can't you just answer it in the show?
Yeah, like why did you not show us that?
It's like watching a Marvel movie, and it's like, oh well, if you read the comics, you would not. It's like I don't want to read like another thing. I don't need to look.
I don't
at
need
another
homework.
Literally, I want to just watch the thing and know what happens based on that.
Right.
The context is there. I don't.
Good storytelling. Anyway,
Yeah,
Isn't that a crazy
think-
concept?
Here's my thing about abstraction is I think one of my favorite parts of the episode was the diving into Jax, especially from that like first person POV. Like you're kind of watching him
And that
go
was
through
cool.
this.
Yeah, I like that.
that was really
And
cool.
I love the stuff of like Pomni trying to dive into his subconscious.
Mhm.
And I think it says a lot about her character that she's the only one who's tried to reach out to an abstracted
Right.
person like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she was doing it very intentionally.
Yeah.
Which the only time we'd ever heard someone do anything similar to that would have been Kinger when his wife abstracted, and he talked about like, well, when she was in the fort, like she was calm, she was fine.
Mhm.
Like, so Pomni trying to reach out to him, I think was good. But I think it causes too many questions now,
Yeah.
because you have to ask, like, I thought by the end of it, of her like hugging him and reaching out to him, I thought he was going to kind of like compress back in, as if abstraction was kind of like this, you lose yourself,
Yeah.
and no one took the time to reach out and help them recompose themselves, which I don't know if that would have been a like betrayal of the stakes of abstraction,
Right.
if that would have been like too Mickey Mouse Clubhouse type ending of
Right.
like, well, now we can go through the cellar and give
just
everyone,
give everyone a big
and then
hug.
they come back. Like,
Yeah.
Right. And now we have this thriving community.
but it also didn't feel like he had been abstracted for that long.
no.
Like, I almost wonder if it's like a time thing. Like, if you're, someone who's been abstracted for 5 years is very different from someone who's been abstracted for 5 days. Like, there's
Yeah.
still like there's that grasp on humanity, because like he was in there.
Yeah.
Like, so
like him.
yeah, like him was in there, and I think there was good resolution for his character. This is the first time I've ever felt like he felt like a main character,
Yeah.
despite the fact that Gooseworks said that like Pomni and Jax were the main characters. Pomni, 100% agree with, 100%. Like, yes, she is the main character. Jax,
See, this is my thing. This is why I'm like talking about this, is because I think that what happens is Gooseworks built this amazing world with amazing characters and misused them. Really, I think the circus was an amazing concept. The characters are super deep, and like there's so much to explore there. But it almost felt like, I don't want to say this and sound harsh, it almost felt like she didn't she just kind of wanted to do what her favorite thing was.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people suffer from that with their writing because it's
like, oh, I like these characters, so they're gonna be together.
right,
haha.
like they're my favorites.
It's
so
giving,
I'm gonna put them
it's
together
giving immature writing
instead of balancing them out. Because to
Right.
your point, we really like there are some characters who didn't get a firm resolution, and I feel like I know we said we weren't gonna bounce around, but I feel like the resolution of them seeing their like IRL selves, like their live action selves, if you will.
Yeah.
Outside of the circus, I feel like that while it was good closure for us as the audience to see that even though yes, their brain scans, their real people are still doing okay. It almost felt too convenient. It felt too convenient that Zubul got to open a bar. It felt too convenient that Ragatha cut herself off from her mother. It felt too convenient that Gangle got to do the art stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's
like, was it too happy of an
like
ending?
it was too happy of like, so these people just like did these brain scans and now like,
oh
well, everything's fine in the real world. They did all of the things that their,
Yeah.
copied selves were worried about.
See, okay, this is so random, but this was like a theory that I was like a little afraid to share because I thought it was too stupid. And it
Yeah.
clearly didn't happen.
right.
But in episode 8, there was a point where Kinger looked like he was talking with the bucket on, and he was like, "Oh, Scratch was trying to do something, but I can't remember."
right.
And it showed an image of a muffin split in half,
yeah.
and I was like, does that mean okay? I was like, okay, that might be the copy thing, but I was like, I think what would be more interesting is if their mind is literally split in two.
They get lobotomized by the MetaQuest. Thank you. Good night.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Thank you. Good night. We are lobotomized by the MetaQuest. Follow us on Spotify.
That's crazy. But like, I know that sounds kind of dumb, but I almost kind of wish that was the thing, because then they could have like their moments in the circus, they could
Right.
learn from it.
Right.
And then that would actually give stakes to abstraction, because that would just mean like, okay, you're done, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then you'll never get that other half of your brain. So I was thinking like, obviously the person would be like alive in the real world kind of
Right.
thing. Like they would be functioning, but it was like maybe they only have their memories.
You get a Sword Art Online moment where
Oh,
they're like
yeah.
all in the hospital kind of thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're just stuck in.
But that's what I'm saying is I wanted that corporate level drama of like, I wouldn't have been opposed to a whole episode in the real world where it's like you kind of get this new character that's like been inspecting CNA. It's like a, some kind of
Yeah.
like underground like crime podcaster who's like, this is really odd. And she like stumbles upon all these people like convulsing on the floor, and they're just
Right.
like, "What the frick?" Like,
Yeah.
and that's just not clearly not the direction the show is gonna go. Like,
No.
that's fair. It's more just like, I think what we're experiencing is the first 4/5 episodes have this vibe of like existential dread. Like
Mhm.
it was a horror to start, I would argue.
Kind of.
Like I would argue it had this like vibe of like it's always been this dark comedy, but I feel like there was a seriousness to it in the first half.
I would argue it's more background horror,
Right.
because it was like the main stuff was always like comedy drama.
Right.
But that background horror is what kept me coming back.
Yes.
So I completely
Yes.
agree.
And I think in the end, like what you're saying is like this ending of like, oh, haha, like it's so sweet. Like that's really sweet because as a fandom, we're like, oh, we all get our happy ending. But it feels somewhat disingenuous to what the first half of the show was.
Yeah.
Like the vibe is different now.
Yeah, and I think like it's fine if that's the direction they wanted to go, but I don't know. There's
I just
something about
disagree.
it that just doesn't feel right. Like it doesn't sit right.
Yeah,
It doesn't
And,
feel
like,
earned.
I also
Yeah.
feel like it's not.
I agree.
I mean, life's not fair, but like it's not fair that Jax never got that conclusion. Like he never got the conclusion that his
never
real
got to
self
know.
turned around. Everyone else got to know,
Yeah.
even though Pomni was the only one who really got far enough to know what was
Uh-huh.
actually happening. And maybe she told everyone else over time, or just kept that to herself for like his sake.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, it's odd that he never got to see that. And like I said, I don't think he should have abstracted at all. I feel like, and this is just my opinion, and I've thought this since episode 7. I think we were too late in the series for an abstraction to hit the way it should have. Because I feel like episode
you'd
9,
never see what the social impact of it after was gonna be.
right? Like you never really get to dive into that. And I hate that it was just a cutaway. Like it was just like time skip, and well, hey, we're all up here, and Jax is down there flipping around
Yeah, I
like a
didn't like
little
that.
abstracted freak.
I didn't like that.
It
It felt because it genuinely confused me.
yeah, I was like,
I was
is
like,
that Jax
is that
or is that
him?
Kinger?
Right.
Because they were both like not there.
Yeah.
Well, this is something, because you're right. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
And because I think the finale, what it really suffered from is it kept doing, like, I thought it was going in a particular direction, like a creative direction, and then it would just abandon that because they had this cut where it would be like, Jax came over to Pomni and he's like, hey, and then he walks away. And as he's walking away, you hear Pomni speak, but she's not speaking. So I was like, oh, it's a voiceover.
Yeah.
And so she goes, I should have pried more.
Yeah.
And then it just does the hard cut where it's him running around on the circus. I was like, oh, is Pomni going to be narrating the entire episode?
And I thought that too. And I was like,
right?
oh, this is gonna be fire.
Yeah.
Like I was excited about that idea, that concept.
Because it's like also who's she talking to?
Right. Who's she talking to? And
Mhm.
like I still feel like there was something going on with her. Like I don't know.
With
I
Pomni?
thought she was a little sinister.
Really?
Yes.
That was a theory for the longest
It
time
was.
that Pomni was like a sleeper agent
Yeah.
or not like a secret doubles, whatever,
Right,
spy
right,
or
But like
something.
sent in
Yeah, sent in.
to
She worked for
disrupt.
CNA.
yeah.
Right.
To like see what was happening, because there was a theory. I was like, why did she stop when with the button? Why did she not let them press it? That was a big theory back then, and I was kind of into it. I was like, that's interesting because we don't know anything about her.
Right.
But
And you even said this, like, I'm wondering your take on this. Like, part of me wonders if Jax should have just been the villain.
no, he should have been.
Yeah, I think that would have been more interesting. And I see, because if you make Jax the villain, you have to change what happens with Kane, because they tried to frame Kane as the villain, and that's why he gets his redemption arc at the end.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do 2 villain redemption arcs side by side.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So you'd either have to fully commit to killing Kane
Mm-hmm.
as like a misclick, which is fine. But then there was never any resolution on who was messing with the programming that made him want to delete Kane. Kinger said it was Kane like
Mhm.
messing around, or maybe it was Bubble messing around.
Because he said that Kane was gonna like start to feel that that Kinger was messing with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, but would Kane accidentally delete himself?
Right. Like, would Kane push himself to get
I don't-
accidentally deleted?
I don't think he
That doesn't
would.
make sense.
No.
And I feel like the iconography of all the different posters and teasers that they did really led you to believe that, like, well, Jax is about to like crash out,
Uh-huh.
and he's gonna take this concept of like conjuring and
Yep.
like go
Mhm.
crazy, and he's gonna flip this place upside down, and he's gonna like start torturing them because he doesn't have another outlet for it.
Right.
Which then
Mhm.
you still could have gone down the path of, well, how do we figure out what's wrong with him? How do we figure out his
Right.
past? You can still go through all of that without him having to abstract to do that, and then go through the redemption arc with that. But
Mhm.
that also requires you permanently killing off Kane,
Yeah.
which sucks because I like Kane, but I also think there was some severity to that,
Yeah.
of like, oh, we just deleted the program manager, and now
Now
like
what?
that's the equivalent of deleting system 32 on your computer, and you're like,
Yeah.
well,
now
we're
what?
stuck in the computer and
Yeah.
we just deleted the only one who can manage it.
Right.
So
And my thing is though, like, Pomni has seen the void. Like, right? She
Mhm.
hasn't
yeah,
she?
that was in
Yeah,
the
she
first
jumped out
episode.
into it.
Yeah. My thing is, here's what, and I can say like, here's how it should have ended. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of whatever. Everyone's gonna have their own way of how it should have been. I think it just would have been more satisfying and just more emotionally impactful than what we got to. Like, you could delete Kane and still send him to the void, but I feel like Jax could have gone evil, and that's when he's like he's lost it. Because here's the thing, I think it was too late for a Jax redemption arc. That was the rushed part that I felt.
Yes.
Was I was like, hey, he sucks. He's a butthole. He's never been kind, never been likable in my mind. I know a lot of people like him, but
He's had like 3 moments that I'll give him.
Right. And I'm like, I don't like him.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's a jerk.
Mhm.
And I don't think he's like, I think he's funny, but he's not like as interesting of a character as some of the other ones are.
Do you think it would have helped if they shifted some of his stuff back?
Like reorganize
Because
the
you
episode.
think not reorganize all of it, but like I think his character arc is good, and to your point, it is rushed.
Mhm.
And I feel like the first, like, we don't only start getting into him kind of like leaning into that in episode 5.
Mhm.
So I almost wonder if you kind of, because he has a lot of moments where he's like,
Yeah, like
and then
he
just
starts.
doesn't say anything. Like he starts and then like cuts himself
like
off.
he's
which is-
almost forcing himself into this state.
right.
Yeah.
And which is the last thing he says.
Like, I did this
To
to myself.
Pomni.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if you started doing those moments sooner,
Yeah.
and then you could kind of stretch everything that was in episode 9 maybe back into 8 a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then like drag it across 8 and 9 instead of condensing it all into 9.
Because here's the thing. I felt this way. I don't know if anyone else felt this way. The first time I watched episode 8, when it was on YouTube, my thought was, I was like, nothing really happened. Other than the Kane stuff, I felt like there was room for more story to be told.
That's so true.
And I felt like, and I was like, okay, but maybe it's just leading up to 9. And then 9 is like so rushed, where I feel like there may have been some restructuring for the sake of shock value. Like, there may have been some restructuring to put everything in 9 so that it's like, this is the finale you don't want to miss because everything gets revealed here.
Yeah.
But then not even everything is revealed there. So it's kind of like,
I have so many questions.
so many
after-
questions. And so what I'm thinking is Jax should have just been evil. He should have just, like, because he's a jerk, and we should have just accepted, like, hey, some people just suck. Like, he's a
Yeah.
product of his environment. Like, you could have kept his whole story with his mom and whatever. Like, you could have kept that.
Mhm.
But it could have just been that tragic ending of, like, he's a product of that, and he never learned how to come out of it, and now he sucks, and he's just this, like, evil person. And that's really sad. But that's more realistic, I would say.
It's realistic and it's emotional. It's like it would, because then you could do a parallel where it was
Yeah.
like, then you could bring Kane back. And it's like, because I feel like they wanted to have their cake and eat it too. And so it was like, and I think that's why it felt cheap,
Mhm.
because I don't mind, like, I don't mind happy endings,
Right.
but you have to earn them.
Yep.
And it feels like this wasn't earned at all. It felt like they just pulled so many things out of their butt.
Yeah.
And it was like,
for the sake of a happy ending.
for the sake of a happy ending.
And I think that it could have been really cool for Jax to go psycho. And then they were like, oh, shoot, we can't defeat him. He's worse than Kane. The only person who can defeat him is Kane. We need to go to the void and go find him.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they could have sent Pomni to the void. And all the consolable stuff she did with Jax, she could have done with Kane.
Or, you know what would have been really cool
Mm.
is if Jax had his moment where he went psycho, pushed Kinger into the void, and then Kinger and Kane had a moment.
Oh.
And then we still could have kept the Pomni and Jax stuff because they've always been
They've
together.
always been together.
Like Pomni and Kane, they're not close really.
No, not really.
But Kinger and Kane, like he created Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like that father.
They could have had like a father-son moment.
No, literally,
relationship.
that actually would have been so much better because he can't talk to his kids in real life.
Right.
So it's like Kane is basically his baby.
And he could be like, Kane, I'm proud of you. Like you made this
Oh
whole
my
thing.
gosh.
Like that would have been awesome. He's like, you look at all
which
this
then
stuff
would
you've
have
done.
tied into the. I feel like that would have been a really good parallel to Jax because that's what Jax was looking for from his dad.
Yes.
Was that approval that you're doing enough, you're doing good. Like
Gosh, that sucks. And then we could have had like a Kane versus Jax fight.
Ooh, that would have been kind of cool.
That would have been wild. And that's when Jax abstracts. Is when he goes so psycho that he just implodes basically.
Mhm.
And everyone's like, you know, he's our friend and we care about him, but he was basically like, I don't want to say no one's too far from like being saved. Like no one's whatever.
But when they actively make choices
When they
against
actively make choices against it, there's a point where they can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
right.
And I think that would have been a much more better emotional impact for the characters than this whole like Jax trauma dump sap fest that we got.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, but he's such a sad emo boy. You should feel bad for him. And I was like, I don't care. You don't
He said
just
he hates Pomni.
Yes. He was dying and he was like, I hate you. And I'm like, I know that's supposed to be like cheeky, but I was like, you can die. Like just like
Explode for all I care.
and I was just like,
Fall into the void.
not in
you
like
freak.
not in like a bad way, but I'm just like, I kind of want you to go away because you're just not being good.
Yeah, and it's like obviously I'm not like an idiot. I know what he was trying to say.
Yes, I know.
Like I know it was like a moment where he's like crying. Like my thought was at the end of Gravity Falls, like when Dipper and Mabel talk to Stan and he goes, "You're a nuisance and I'm glad to be rid of you." And he's like on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what they were trying to do, but it didn't work because
No.
I was like,
But that
One-
like he could genuinely mean that.
Yes.
Like when he says I hate you, like that could
No,
be
literally.
I actually hate you.
yeah.
which is insane because she's done nothing but good things to him. And he's just like,
Yeah. No, literally.
Get away from me.
yeah.
I just felt like I was like, you can't do a 20-minute redemption arc of my least favorite character and expect me to care.
mm-hmm.
Now, like there are some emotional moments that I thought hit really well. Him playing the piano was like really I thought that was just like a sweet little detail where she was like, I didn't know you could play the piano. And he was like, I only know a few songs. Like that was I think
Yeah.
the most human moment they've ever had together. And that was really sweet.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this was a really awesome world that you kind of mishandled
A little bit.
for the sake of. And here's my thing. And we were talking about this last night too.
Yeah.
Was I think that we are so obsessed with subversion, and we need to stop doing that. Just in
Mhm.
media in general,
Yeah.
is it's the La La Land effect. But it's like everything is like it can't be the ending you're expecting.
Mhm.
It can't be what you expect. And like mystery shows are notoriously bad at this, where it's like Lost has to end. It can't be the predictable ending. Severance can't be the predictable ending. And when you do that, it lets theories run rampant.
Mhm.
And then when it's kind of like, I don't know, it's this. And then you're like, hey, all our theories were low-key better than what you decided. Like, that
Yeah.
sucks. Part of me is like, hey, sometimes the predictable ending is more satisfying.
Yeah.
And I think that's a difficult pill to swallow for a lot of people.
And I think if
so-
you're trying to do the subversion thing all the time,
yeah,
what ends up happening is like to your point, you do leave it open for
Interpretation.
theorizing.
yeah,
Mhm.
But the problem is if you're intentionally trying to subvert while that spurs on the theories, eventually a theory is going to track to your subversive ending, which then no longer makes it subversive.
Yes.
So then
It's a subversive loop.
right, like it's just it's a continuous cycle, especially for a show that's so terminally online, like Digital Circus, where like you get one pixel of Ribbit, and they're like, "So guys, did Jax push Ribbit off of this mountaintop? Because
I wish
if you
he
look
did."
at this frame and this pixel, the angle of the thing, like
It's like a 2-hour film theory video about a poster that a
Exactly.
Reddit thread that's like a live stream after one episode comes out.
Yeah,
we definitely
like-
didn't do that.
so
I think that, like, that being said, I think that having weekly releases of a show like this breeds so much community and so much discussion, and that's a beautiful thing. But it almost felt like partway through they were like, "Oh man, Reddit's gonna love this." Type, and it's like, oh.
Do you feel like the releases were too spread apart? Do you think this show would have benefited, at least community-wise,
from like a weekly
release of all the episodes being done? I know they couldn't do that like
Right, of course.
monetarily, like budget-wise, they wouldn't be able to do that.
So that's an interesting question. Basically, now that it's done, what's the ideal way to watch Digital Circus?
Oh, I think a straight binge.
Really?
Yeah, I think you just binge it all the way
I
through.
strongly disagree.
I think if you binge it, I think
you
like
lose the nuance.
because the build up is what made me care about the characters, and if it's such a character focused show, then I'm like, I need the time to sink, like really think about it and like get into the minds of all of them. If I just binge it, then I'm like, I just kind of don't care.
Yeah. I would say it was cool to be a part of it because it was like, oh, a new episode in
A week.
3 months.
Yeah.
Then you're like, holy cow, like we got to strap in and be ready to go. And it's like, we need to adjust our podcast schedule because that's when
Right.
it comes out and we need to be ready to do this. Like, it makes it an event, like an anticipated thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like, this is just part of being, it's just part of media today is you have to take the internet into account. Like the internet is going to run wild. And I think that in the kindest way possible, the general demographic of this show is chronically online.
Yep.
Like this is the demographic it fits. Not even in a mean way. Like I'm not even being like, you guys need deodorant. Like
yeah, it's definitely like
you do.
online Zoomer humor type.
but it is
type
like
stuff.
it's
But it's also
yeah.
made by a Zoomer.
right.
Like,
I think
Gooseworks is not much older than
like
we are.
I think that's a good thing. I truly do because that's why it connects to
It's a
such
show
young
for the
audience.
kids.
Yes, just a little
Yeah.
something for the kids. And I even like I made a YouTube video about this. If you want to go watch it, link in the description. Hey, if you made it this far in this episode, follow us. All the links in the description. Follow the Nerdiest Podcast on Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Become a YouTube member to get access to the Nerdiest After Show.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry, forgot to plug that. Yeah. For $5 a month, you could have an extra episode every month and early access to episodes when they're done early.
Yes.
No promises. But yeah, $5 a month. Do that. All the links in the description. Follow us down there. Anyway, yeah, I did a YouTube video about this. Basically, that like the Digital Circus is such a good internet show because it's like this golden utopia that should be perfect, that should be wonderful, that is pitched to you as this amazing onslaught of opportunity is actually like sucking your soul and is actually like terrifying and is kind of a prison, just like the internet.
Right.
Like that's the point. It's the
yeah.
perfect place for a show like this. And so I think that I think you need to give like minimum week in between watching episodes.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
I just
Because
I have never watched a show that's been out and intentionally given myself space.
you should try it.
I like, but I don't know. It depends on the context of the show because like something like One Piece, yeah, I just binge
Right.
the crap out of that because there's so many episodes.
And there's not, I mean, One Piece isn't like, what's going to happen next?
Right.
It's like, you're into it, but you're not like foaming at the mouth.
But I also think my justification for binging is the release, like releasing it weekly or even watching like like one episode a week,
Yeah.
like I think that only works if you're watching it with someone and you are theorizing with them.
Yes.
If you are watching it by yourself and you have no one to theorize with, don't get on the internet. They're going to spoil it. They've
Yeah.
already theorized to hell and back. Like
Yeah.
they're done.
Mhm.
So that's my justification for binging is if you're not,
then you can
getting
be part
into
of
the
the whole
theorizing,
conversation.
you just finish. Like there's nothing to wait for. There's nothing to anticipate. It's just, well, let's get from start to finish. And if you wanted to do like halvesies, I think you could probably binge 1 through 5 and then do 6 through 9. Because I feel like 1 through 5 is that, like what you were talking about, like that vibe of it's a little more lighthearted in a way. We're kind of just doing
Yeah.
the adventures, going through the motions. And then 6 through 9 is where like the plot really kicks
Yeah.
in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you wanted to do like, I'll do 1 through 5, take a week to digest that, and then do
Mhm.
6 through 9, I think that would be my ideal.
No, I
way
think,
to do
I
it.
think the way they released it was perfect.
I think that was perfect for releasing.
For releasing. If you're going into it blind now, I still think you need personally 2 or 3 days to digest it. Like you shouldn't just consume the whole thing because you're going to like some of the stuff in the middle is going to get lost on you. I feel. I think that's the best experience is to slowly be like, oh, this
Yeah.
is building in my brain.
Yeah, I don't think the show is anything without its community.
Mm.
To be honest with you,
Mm.
I think that there's just I got a reaction. I don't know.
That's just it. That's an interesting take.
I don't
and-
entirely disagree either.
Well, and I should rephrase. Obviously, it's not nothing. There's so much
It's high
merit.
quality, yeah.
It's high quality. It's great. But like and maybe it's just because I'm really slow personally.
Yeah.
But I take a lot of time when I watch TV shows. Like
agree.
I don't binge. I'll throw on max 2 or 3 episodes at
Yeah.
a time. And that was like when I was watching it was like one of the first like adult shows I was allowed to watch
Yeah.
was like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I was really into it and I would watch like 3 episodes a night and then I would
Mhm.
cut myself off because I knew that if I binged it, I was like, I'm going to ruin this for myself.
Mhm.
And I've seen other people in my life who have binged it and they kind of hated it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like when you do that to yourself, I feel like you might be limiting the experience you can have because I don't know, slowly pacing it can make you feel more connected to it. It allows you to process it
Mhm.
and like really think about like, why did they do this thing? Why did the actor choose to deliver a line this way? Why did they act a certain way? Why did they
Yeah.
shoot it that way? And my inner cinephile is coming out
Yes,
a little
of
bit. And it's,
course.
it's a little stupid, I'll admit, but I don't know.
I agree.
Thank you. You get what I'm saying, right? It's
I would say, why would you chug a fine glass of wine?
oh,
Because it tastes good.
Nope. 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 Why would you chug a fine glass of wine?
Because it tastes good.
You got him.
Listen, all I'm saying
Because
is
if you chug, it's
I don't know. Hot take. I think Digital Circus maybe is like a sparkling soda. Like I don't think we're talking wine here.
it's like I mean I might burp, but like
yeah, like
I'll
I
be
might
fine.
die. Alcohol
It's like,
poisoning.
I
maybe.
would chug a Dr. Pepper. Like
Yeah, I don't know. I see the merit to what you're saying, and I do agree, but I think that solely depends on the type of show.
I agree.
no, I will agree
This
with
is
that.
a whole nother conversation.
Like
now.
I think I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about the finale.
To me, I binge watched Digital Circus. I think we did 1 through 4 and then 5 and 6
Mm-hmm.
to get caught up, and I don't feel like I lost anything
Well, here's the
or
thing.
had a bad experience
I
with it.
also had to I had to catch up basically because I was behind, but I never watched more than one episode a day.
That's so crazy.
No, well, I also very rarely have like 3 hours free to just sit down and watch TV.
That's true. And that's
So,
a
like,
difference in our schedule.
I more just have like 30-minute pockets where I'm like, I'll get in there and let me do an episode real quick.
Yeah.
But then like I kind of prefer to watch that way
Mm-hmm.
because I get to digest it and like really like be like, okay, that's interesting. And I get to like get the tasting notes in it a little bit, and then I go in for another sip and I get new notes. I'm like, whoa, is it
I'm
actually
more
like
of a like
blueberry?
we're gonna chug half the glass and then just like
Give it a little swish like Michael Scott style.
gargle it in the throat,
Dip your
and then-
steak in it.
Yeah, like and then swallow, and then we're good. And I'm like, okay,
You know
now
I
I
have
can go in for more.
You know I have sensitive teeth, babe. Man, so the finale.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
finale. So lingering questions.
Yeah, what basically I think
Why?
could we I think what makes me sad is I think that based on this finale we couldn't get a season 2.
Well, that was apparent, I think, from
Well, they knew from
episode like 4.
they knew from day 1 they didn't want to do 2 seasons.
Which,
And I
shout out
respect
to
that.
Glitch for respecting the creator's wishes and not
Yes.
driving a cash cow into a second season for the sake of
Yes.
making a second season. I've always died on the hill that we need more like single season shows.
Yes.
That are not like, here's 9 episodes of The Office. Here's
Mhm.
17 seasons of Friends.
Right.
Like, and
We
then
need- and here's
shows
the
like that
thing.
run way past their prime, and then the quality dips at the end.
Right. Like some of the
Mhm.
best shows of all time are limited series.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I also think that what sucks is I was like, I would have watched a second season. I
Mhm.
would have loved it. And it could have been really like rich and like it could have been very deep into like more of the world lore and we could have gotten more characters, whatever. But I think it's one of those like, I respect those that creative choice to be like, you just don't get to know.
Yeah.
But then I'm starting to wonder after that finale, do you know?
Yeah. Do you? I mean, hey, listen.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Gooseworks
does
said there
anyone
was a
know?
lot of inspiration. It was another Tumblr post. It was like, well, what's your
Not Tumblr, dude.
what's
What?
your like if you had to pick one, we have I Have No Mouth and I'm a Scream, but if you had
Right.
to pick one thing that you base this off of, what would it be? And it was Neon Genesis Evangelion, the like famously unexplainable anime where the director had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was just like someone asked, because when the angels die in Evangelion, like they turn into a cross when they
Mhm.
explode, and like that was the whole thing with the third impact. It was like crosses everywhere, and they're like, so is this rooted in like deep like Christian symbolism about like are these angels based on the Bible? Because like, you
Yeah.
have Adam and all this stuff. He was like, look cool.
See,
And it's like, well,
here's
what do we
the-
have to say about like Shinji's fragile mental state? I don't know.
Here's
He
the
was
thing,
depressed.
that pisses me off.
Me too.
Because I'm like, look, you have this platform, like, steward it.
Yeah,
like,
and it's like,
make this really, really good.
I understand wanting to be vague and mysterious and like leave intrigue, and I think
Of
that's
course,
what
you should.
pulled Digital Circus along, was the theorizing about all of that. But
Mhm.
when you're doing that just for the sake of doing it, you don't have a reason.
Yeah.
Because I think back to like Inception, right?
Yes.
Like the end of Inception is open for interpretation on, are they in the real world? Are they still in the simulation? Like Christopher Nolan knows, but I'm never gonna tell.
Right.
Like,
But
that's
he's-
fine.
But also, that's the point.
Right.
Is that you should, it's up to a viewer's interpretation, and that makes the film more enjoyable because it breeds discussion.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think that? Well, I think this way. And that's how films build communities, is when they have those key discussion points. And that's what Digital Circus was doing. The thing was, those key discussion points are now nothing but discussion points because there isn't an answer.
Right.
Yeah.
There is no objective
so it's-
answer that we can try to get to. It's
It's
just, well, I feel this way and I
pointless.
feel that way.
And
you
it
know.
almost feels like there's a part of me like that sucks, but I'm like, did you waste my time a little bit? Like, did I care about this more than you did? That's dramatic because she obviously cares about it so much. Like the whole
Yeah.
team
Well,
cares about it so much. Well,
by the end, I don't think that was the case.
I mean, they all cared
Which
about it
that
so much.
Sucks. I hate that. As a
Yeah.
creative, I hate that the online community was so awful and toxic that it made a creator hate their creation. That is awful.
Let this be a lesson to all the creatives out there to limit access with your fans.
Dude, I'm going to make an alt account and just troll them. That's my move.
Honestly, just don't even like interact with them. Like do what Toby Fox does. Like just give a little update and then back away.
Yep.
Don't do anything.
Don't read.
Because all this has proven to me is that people are crazy.
Yep.
Like I don't like hell of a boss, but one of my favorite quotes about it is, you know, the kind of freaks up there.
Yeah. This was one of those like, no, get down community, bad. Bad community, bad. Stay down. Get off the couch. Put on deodorant.
True.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just one of those like, that sucks because I don't like, I hope there's an answer out there, but I wanted the answer to be like
In the show, not a
in the
Tumblr
show,
post.
not on a Tumblr post, like, which is the double-edged sword of the internet show, but whatever.
The internet has made it too easy for people to leave stuff out and fill it in later.
oh, that's that's true.
Because, like, think about it. Like, movies back in the, you know, like if George Lucas didn't put something in A New Hope, he wasn't going on Tumblr to be like, so Luke and Leia are actually siblings.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Right.
You wouldn't know if you
Yeah.
you know, because someone asked. Like,
Yeah.
you had to put all of that in there, and anything else is up for interpretation.
Yeah.
I also think I don't know, we might side tangent again. This show shows me and has all but confirmed, like, it was a theory, but now I'm like, this is confirmed. Media literacy is dead. Like,
Yeah.
it's dead and gone. It's not coming back because there's too many, like, well, I need to know this. Like, the show, if the show doesn't tell me this, then it's not true.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those, like, if the show doesn't tell me that Gangle and Zubul are together, then it's not true.
Yeah.
Like we need an explicit scene that says this. Otherwise, it's
Right.
not true.
Mhm.
It's like, well, let's put our media literacy caps on if we're looking at the context of this scene or, you know, this thing going back and forth. Like,
Boring.
you have to infer and actually use your brain. But I know that's difficult for Reddit brainers who are perpetually on the internet.
So I raise you this question. Is it the death of media literacy or is it the death of emotional maturity?
Why not both?
I
¿Por qué no las
yeah.
dos?
because porque I started speaking in Spanish. I said porque
Can a white boy speak a little
little
español?
español. Porque si necesitamos saber todos los informaciones de la,
English, please.
de la película.
Google Translate.
Nosotros no estamos inteligentes porque necesitamos. I could just go on, but
I got about half of what you were saying.
basically, I was literally just gonna say like emotional intelligence is film.
Yeah.
Like, making a film is having the emotional intelligence to say, this is what this is, and here's how it's portrayed in this way.
I think of the Christopher Nolan quote where he says, don't try to understand it, try to feel it.
And here's the thing. On that, I felt the finale. Like, I
did.
felt it.
I
I
did.
felt it in my heart. I felt it like I loved that there was, you know, I loved that I was like, we did it, Joe. Like, we made it this far. It was in the theater. It was awesome. I think it could have been better,
For sure.
but I cried.
Mhm.
I felt it. Like, the music. Can we talk about the music?
It was really good.
Freaking
I need them to
amazing.
release the rest of that soundtrack. They
Freaking
haven't released
amazing.
anything past episode 5 or 4.
That's crazy. There's
I
probably.
need
I
you
wonder
to
if
drop the rest
I
of it.
wonder if they're getting a vinyl. That would be crazy.
They did already release a vinyl for episode
Really?
1, I think.
Yeah, but I want the whole series.
No, for sure. I do too.
I just think I like on that. I felt it.
I did.
Like, it was emotional, and I was into it. It could have been better. Like, I could break it apart, and I just did. But like, I felt it at the end of the day, and I still think it's like a 5 out of 10 finale.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I'm locking in at like 5.5.
yeah, 5 as well.
5.5. Yeah, which is tough because I wanted like a 10 out of 10 conclusion, but I think that I think it's one of those things where I'm like, I respect your creative decision. I don't agree with it,
Mm-hmm.
but you did what you did.
At least you stuck to it.
Right.
I think there's so many, with as vile and like toxic as the online fan base was with some of the
Mhm.
decisions on the show, I do respect Gooseworks for at least sticking to what I can assume is the original vision.
Yeah.
Because I think there are some people who get really scared out of doing that because they don't want to make their fan base mad, even though the people who are like vocally mad online, and not in a like objectively critical way, like, oh, your show's objectively bad, so I'm going
Yeah.
to call that out.
Mhm.
Just in a, you're not doing what I want you to do, so now I'm going to bully you online
Right.
Yeah.
type way. I think there's so many people who try to
like,
avoid
they
that
fold.
second category
Mhm.
and they fold, and it makes a overall worse product when that's just a really vocal minority
Mm-hmm.
compared to the actual people who will talk about and
Like
enjoy
praise it.
the show
Yeah, absolutely.
for what it is.
And speak about it like with some sense.
right, like
Yeah.
we're here like hour 20 into this episode of like, well,
Why do we feel that way?
like it's not perfect, but we still enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm
Mhm.
gonna watch it again when it drops on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, because also like Maddie hasn't seen it, so I'll watch
Right.
it with her, and I have a
Right.
couple
Yeah.
other friends who haven't seen it, so like
Yeah.
they'll want to watch it.
And I'm curious if watching it at home gives a different experience.
I wonder if it'll be better.
I'm partially wondering if it's going to be better at home.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm not delirious and on a high from
Driving
across
for
town.
now.
Yeah.
And not at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get sleepy.
Yeah, I was a little tired, but I might be able to go back and like pick apart things, and I think it might be one of those finales that's maybe appreciated a little bit more over time.
Yeah.
I think we might come back to it and be like, it wasn't that bad.
Maybe it wasn't a little Phantom Menace.
A little
Yeah.
bit, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I've seen some people say it's like this is the worst finale I've ever seen. Like this is worse than Stranger Things. I'm like worse than
Whoa.
Stranger Things.
Listen.
I'm like I don't know about that.
I don't know
Stranger
about that,
Things had their
buddy.
fans begging and delusional that there was another episode.
Yeah.
It was so bad. I don't think you're gonna top that.
Literally, Stranger Things being like, "There's another one, guys. It's coming.
me.
It's coming." And then they're like, "Oh, it was just that bad."
Oh, that's so tough.
Yeah, that's so tough. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be like negative Nancy.
Right.
I don't want to be like, this is bad. Also, number one unanswered question that I have not brought up yet.
Mhm.
So, did he bring back Scratch? Or did he not? Because he pulled that like mind file out and we saw Scratch come back to the circus
Mhm.
and it was never touched on again.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Did he put it back?
Yeah.
He was like, oopsie. Like,
Can we also talk about Scratch's name being Bobby?
Bobby.
Bobby.
Bobby. I love that joke.
I don't
Pretend like
know.
you're my dad.
Because that implies that they're
I'm gonna Google it. Like I'm gonna see if someone else has
like someone on Reddit
yeah.
has
Yeah.
put it together. Dude, we love Reddit. Shout out to Reddit.
Depends.
I don't know,
Yeah,
because I feel
I
like
don't
that
like Reddit.
that was what made me think they were undoing the abstraction.
That's what I thought too. I thought Jax was going to be fine.
Right. Like I thought his name files were like those obsolete or corrupted or whatever they were called
Mhm.
were like everyone was just there.
Yeah.
And he could just be like, boom, 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 boom. I'm going to fix it. I thought Kane was going to do some kind of like self-sacrificial, like I'm sacrificing myself even just to bring back all of the abstracted people.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I just had a really dumb thought. It's not Bobby.
That's
It's
okay.
Dobby, I think is what his name was.
Dobby?
Oh, you're right.
Oh,
It's
was it
Mike
Dobby?
Dobby. I
That's
think.
right. Yeah. Sorry. My bad. I just need to get that out there.
So I don't know. I thought Kane was going to do some kind of like self-sacrificial play
Mhm.
of like, well, this is how I'm going to make it up to them.
Mhm.
Is like, I'm going to sacrifice myself so that they can, like all these abstracted people can come back. Cause I didn't know I
Mhm.
could do that before. Also another unanswered question. What happened to the little blue dot? He
Yeah.
just like went
Because
and then
if we can just go back to the circle, why doesn't the blue dot just come back to the circle? And was the blue dot
Yeah.
Bubble?
Because Bubble never came back.
Bubble never came back.
What's Reddit got for us here?
Oh, I did like the part with the cane and the moon. I forgot about that
The
part.
cane in the moon was very sweet.
Let's get out of here before the moon gets frisky.
Oh.
It's like the moon's the only one who genuinely loved Kane the whole time.
Oh. People on Reddit are pretty much like, we're pretty sure that was supposed to be a flashback, but the editing made it very confusing.
Yeah.
Said it was confusing in the moment, but thinking back on it, I think what it's actually supposed to be is two moments in time paralleling each other. In the present, Kane is attempting to break into the Wi-Fi signal happening in the present, while the other is Kane in the past breaking into the brain scans folder in the past. Oh, so that parallel of that like parallel of Kane going in there, that was present Kane. The red dot was past Kane, like when in his inception, going into the brain scan files for the first time.
That would make sense as to why the red dot was also like growing arms and legs.
Yes,
as it
he was
going
evolving into
and
Kane.
learning the process of getting
okay.
there. Because that makes so much sense, because that's what Kinger said was like the brain scans were too small and complex, but somehow Kane figured out how to make them work. And that would have been him going in there, and that was the one hand. I have a pen.
Yeah.
I have an apple. Boom. Now someone's in the circus. Pineapple pen. Bam.
That
Which
was a
also
suppressed
would
memory.
explain why Kane said at the beginning of 8 that he's like, oh, I didn't know more people could be added. This is interesting, because he only would have had that initial file folder to work off of.
Yeah.
And he would have assumed that this is
So
all
he
I
can't
have.
add files to it. Yeah.
Right.
And
So then they're dumping more into
Man,
it.
that was not communicated well
That-
at all.
that was not. Now, my question is, I'm like, okay, is this the kind of thing that like gets smarter on a rewatch and you're like, oh, I see what you did? Or was it like, that was hella confusing? Like, I didn't get that at all. Because I didn't get that at all. I thought it was just kind of a cool juxtaposition.
Because
Yeah.
see, but that's hard, because he then like at the same time he dug through the file.
Media literacy is dead, and we killed it.
He like
Maybe I'm part of the problem.
he
Maybe I'm
took
dumb.
he took the names out of the file and then like floated them around and chucked them into that search bar,
hmm
because that's
Well-
how he found them on the internet.
Right, that was for his PowerPoint at the very
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Like PowerPoint night, guys.
PowerPoint night. Here's your real selves.
But I
Me
feel like
at
that was
PowerPoint
it.
night showing my friends their true identities.
I know who you are. I know your online persona.
Welcome back to Who Posted That?
But it was like at the
Yeah.
same time as like past Kane,
Mm-hmm.
he was still pulling names in the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was confusing.
Because he pulled like all of those old obsolete files, and I thought those were their real names. And then he took a different set and chucked them into the search bar.
Yeah.
So like that's the weird thing about seeing it in the theater that I feel like makes it more confusing, because with the past episodes, if you got confused, you just on youtube.com, boom, Digital Circus episode 8, and then I skip to where I'm looking. I'm like,
Is
okay,
that
well
the
at least
same
I have the
thing?
visual reference, whereas now I'm like,
right.
you're having to recall just based on your theatrical
Right.
memory of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe it will get better
Yeah.
on a
Maybe when I
rewatch.
can pause it and like search. There
Yeah.
was a moment where I was like, when he was reading all the newspaper stuff, I was like, I can't wait to pause and read that whole thing.
Somebody is dead.
Yeah. I was
Maybe
like,
that's how they confirm that Jax's mom isn't dead.
Maybe that's how they confirm about CNA, like what they're up
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Well, here's my other question. Like, Jax delivered that package to that lady. Was that his mom?
I assumed it was.
to. That was way too friendly to be his mom.
I don't
Unless
think it was.
The assumption was that they have made up since then, and that was just like a friendly, casual visit.
Mm.
But
I don't
I
know.
also feel like that would have been brought up.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
like, to Ribbit's point, if his mom wasn't okay, then the cops would have come after him. Like, if it was a suspected homicide,
For sure.
they would
Yeah,
have
she's
tried
right.
to find him, and he wouldn't have just been able to go hang out with a friend and then get a job.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Like,
Yeah, that's
he'd be in
fair.
prison.
Yeah.
So
I will say, and I'd like to give them their cake on this. The mixed media was phenomenal
yes.
on this finale.
Yeah, that was
like
really
the
cool.
real stuff. And there's one shot, we talked about this, that haunts me, that I can't stop thinking about, and it's my favorite. And it's a shot where he's holding it's like first person Jax. He's holding his hand, but it's all static. And there's this outline of his mom, like lying on the floor, but she's also static. That like genuinely made me jump. Like that was scary. And I cannot wait to like go back and just see that shot again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that made me go, holy cow. Like
Yeah.
that was cool. And then I liked, I don't know, this was such a small detail. Pomni throws the Jax throws the bottle at the Jax playing the piano, and the liquid that like goes down the wall was static. Like it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
I
a
didn't
static.
realize
And I
that.
was like, oh, like I just thought that was a really cool aesthetic. Like that was the show going back to its original like weird like
Roots.
horror-y kind of aesthetic that I
Or
really
when like something was
appreciated.
coming from the door and they all in unison were like quiet
Yes.
at the door. Like
Yeah.
that, I thought that was also really good. I think the
Yeah.
Jack stuff is my favorite from the episode. Like I think that was
Really?
some of the best direction.
It was
I
my
think it had
favorite
some
from a
of-
filmmaking standpoint.
I think it had some of the better writing.
Really?
I liked it. What can I say? I like
Mm.
that we got to dive into it. Do I think it was too little, too late? Do I think maybe he shouldn't have abstracted at all? Yeah, but
Mm.
looking at it overall, I
It is a
liked
stronger part of the episode.
I liked hearing about, because that's what I felt like I was missing. Like, yeah, I want to hear the CNA stuff, and I want to, oh yeah, sure, give me an update on what they're doing,
Mhm.
and oh, it's great that Kane is still alive. But also, I really wanted to know what was up with Jax.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I feel like I was sufficiently satisfied in that because you understand why he does what he does. And I think that will improve on a
Mhm.
rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a question. Do you think, and I asked you guys this at breakfast, but do you think them being brain scans affects a rewatch, knowing that there's not that human relatability of, well, these are people trapped in a game, or these are people who have been stuck in a world and they need to figure out how to get out so that they can live their lives? Because I do feel like them being brain scans, kind of like I said earlier, undercuts what their real versions did and almost makes it feel too like happy-go-lucky. Yeah, everyone got to do what they got to do, and that was A-okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you're telling me, like, using Kinger as an example,
Yeah.
Mhm.
as someone like him and his wife, as someone who worked on that program,
Right.
they just saw that the scans went in and then were like,
Oh
well, time to move on with my life.
yeah.
Like,
Unless they didn't know, and then I'm like,
that's true.
how long did they work on this before? Because there's no way they were like, all right, everything's scanned in. Time to jet out of here. Never touch this computer again and let it live off of this free Wi-Fi.
Right.
And it's like, wait, like those are the questions that make me go, huh? Like, how is this even happening?
I'm sure there'll be
Yeah.
Tumblr posts by the time the episode drops on YouTube that'll be like,
I can't.
oh yeah, Scratch is actually still alive. He's just in the void.
I know. I'm just like,
He's
this is
hanging out with the
ridiculous.
moon outside.
Yeah.
I don't think that it affects the rewatch, because I think that you're still watching their human struggles in the digital circus. Because the big question was always like, are we going to get out? Can we get out? Can we get out? And I think if you watch it knowing they can't, you're going to notice how much more important the relationships they have in the circus are.
Yeah.
And I think that human struggle still has a deep sense of relatability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Mm.
Oh man,
What an episode.
what an episode. What a
It's
time to be
over.
alive.
What are we going to talk about now?
Gosh, dude.
We're going to have to find another show
How am
to
I
talk about.
how am I going to
We need to make our own show.
True.
guys,
We're going to make
we're
the amazing
making-
physical circus.
well, when are we getting a live action remake?
we're gonna call Mr. Beast. He's gonna lock like 12 people in a circus tent until they go insane and explode.
Oh gosh,
That's crazy.
Gary, I've got a bomb strapped to my chest. That's abstracting in the live action.
How am
remake.
I supposed to? How am I supposed to have another quirky internet show that my coworkers don't understand? Like how? Like what's left for
Might
me?
I introduce you to anime?
No, please. Well, unless you have anything else to add,
I got nothing. I think
this
think
was
I'm
a
good.
solid review of the Amazing Digital Circus, the final act.
last act.
With the last act, we laughed, we
loved.
cried, we laughed, we loved, we loved.
We crop dusted a little bit.
We live, we laugh, we love.
In these conditions.
In these conditions. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Nerdiest Podcast. Feel free to tune in next 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now for our next episode. But make sure you're following us on all our socials. We're doing really cool stuff on Instagram right now and on YouTube. If you want to watch video versions of our beautiful episode, see our beautiful faces, come see our cool studio, because this was a cool episode to watch the video of. I'll be honest. Yeah, if you like to follow us, all links in the description. Thank you, Logan, for coming on as a guest. Logan will be on our next episode as well, so stay tuned for that. Links in the description. Buy some merch. Get all the stuff there. But we will see you in the next episode. Until then, bye.